Alright, hey guys, I'm Dr. Caitlin McGee. I'm a physical therapist, in case you don't know who I am. I'm here to talk about Smashbox and the Hacksbox. Obviously, good deal of debate going on in the community right now. I'm not here to comment on tournament legality, because that's not my wheelhouse. I'm not here to talk about business practices or communication between the two parties. Again, not my wheelhouse. I will give the caveat that I've given ergonomic advice to both the Smashbox team and to Hacks. I've signed no contracts. I've given, hey, you want to help out with feedback here? Sure, I'll help out with feedback here. That's it. That's the extent of my arrangement with them. So there's three big things to consider when we're talking about a fight stick style box. Thing one, obviously, is tournament legality. Again, not my wheelhouse. I'm only going to touch on it briefly. Clearly, we don't want to provide an unreasonable competitive advantage. We need to make sure that this is... you can't just pay $300 for a controller that will make you better at this game. So I'm not sure exactly how this would or wouldn't pan out, but obviously has to be tournament legal as decided by people who are more knowledgeable about that than I am. That's one factor to consider. Another factor to consider, cost and business. Again, not my wheelhouse. But it's got to be a thing that's feasible and reasonable for the scene and allows us to conduct ourselves in professional and ethical manners. The last piece is my wheelhouse, gaming health. So that's what I'm going to talk about mostly. So the first thing, we all know the GameCube controller is not ideally ergonomically designed. That doesn't mean it's impossible to play ergonomically on a GameCube controller. It just means that there are certain things that are more difficult. You're more likely to be leaning forward with a GameCube controller than you are with the fight stick style box, because you have to sit up with a fight stick style box. You literally can't lean forward on it unless you put it on a table in front of you. So that's one thing. It promotes better ergonomics in terms of your sitting upright posture, like we talked about, that chest up, chin in, shoulders back deal. It's kind of more similar to a keyboard style ergonomics in terms of your considerations, as your hands are out in front of you instead. And last but not least, something Leffen has highlighted as very important is overall APM. And he's right in that your absolute APM, your overall actions per minute, would be higher on the Smashbox because you simply have to hit more buttons in order to do the same actions if you're avoiding having back rows, which goes back to tournament legality. However, it's a higher number of actions spread over a larger number of fingers. So it's kind of like a lower relative APM. So overall, I think it balances out in terms of the total number of stresses applied relative to the total number of things to which those stresses are applied. So I think that balances out perfectly well. So one big upside of a fight stick style controller is it allows for better ergonomics for certain people for whom the GameCube controller isn't a good fit. And by fit, I mean something like, you wouldn't stick me in the same chair that you'd stick D1 in. D1 is a tall dude, and I am super duper short. It makes no sense to have us share the exact same equipment because it just doesn't fit us. It doesn't work. So allowing for adaptation when tournament legal, obviously, to promote a fit for everyone is a good thing. Allowing people to be supported in good ergonomics in a variety of sizes and in a variety of positions is a good thing. We want that. The other thing we want is we want our scene to be accessible. And there are people who, for whatever reason, simply cannot use a GameCube controller. That's why Hacks got involved in the first place, right? He can't use a GameCube controller anymore because of his injury history. And the Hacksbox is a way for him to be able to still play this game he loves. He's not the only person who's limited by injury or disability. People with visual impairments, people with neurological conditions, people with just simply a heck of a lot of hand injury history may not be able to use a GameCube controller. So if we have the ability to create a tournament-legal adaptive controller that lets more people continue to play this game that they love playing, why wouldn't we do that? Again, I'm emphasizing that it has to be tournament legal. We're not trying to give unreasonable competitive advantages or anything. We're just trying to make sure that our scene is accessible to the people who want to play the game, both in terms of serious injury or medical history and in terms of just not murdering your hands over time because you're forced into a poor ergonomic posture. So that's my 5 cents on the situation. More than 2 cents because I talked a whole lot. If anybody has more questions about my ergonomic perspective on this stuff, you can catch me at Kate McGeePT on Twitter. Email me, katemcgeept@gmail.com. My DMs are always open as well. Thanks for listening, guys.